Hi everybody, my name is Cindy Craft, social work student, and this channel is just basically just sharing my journey of like emotional well-being and just creating safe spaces in my own presence in a space that I have. I just kind of just share my journey of the ups and downs of what I'm learning about adulthood as a 26-year-old, and maybe God introduce my video to other people in my age range or younger people to understand that you're not alone in this process we call life. What I like to title this chapter in my life is that I like to just call it, oh, it's a duck. It's really a duck. Oh my God, it's so cute. Like, I'm starting to learn myself more and I'm learning to value who I am, because God is so intentional about the balance that he's creating. But at the same time, it's like we have to be very intentional of where we're walking to and where we're heading to. And sometimes, like, I do stress with certain things because I'm not trusting the process or trusting who God is creating me to be. But I think God has really created me to be very strong, very firm under pressure. Like, when things seems like it's going left and it don't seem right to me, I think God is really intentionally showing me, like, straight up, like, girl, you got this, and you can understand your strength, because you're not gonna understand how much weight you really can carry until you actually pick the weight up, right? So I think that's what God is teaching me. Like, okay, you got this 15-pound weight. Let's hit 20. You got this 20-pound weight. Let's challenge 25. You got this 25-pound weight. Can we do 30? And I think, like, but the thing about it, them challenges really build your character over time. And I'm really just letting God just kind of work through me. Those times you feel like God wasn't working in your life, he really was working through your life. I remember about a couple years ago, I decided to open a business up with, like, decluttering people's spaces and stuff like that, because me, myself, and I really like a clean, wholesome space. I like an intentional space. And I was like, wow, what if I start, creating this service for other women in Detroit? Bad idea. Very bad idea, because I already had so much piled on me. I already had so much going on and piled on me. And I remember I had my first potential client in this area. Y'all, when I tell you, that lady had so much stuff. It wasn't like her house was dirty or nothing like that. But the clutter, the things that she had, they were valuable items at that. It was a lot of things that she wanted me to go through. And I was going to agree with the job. But I told myself that, yeah, sis, you got this. You for sure got this. Y'all, when I left her house, something in my spirit was like, no, do not do that to yourself. Stop putting yourself in situations where you're draining yourself so bad to build a name for yourself. Be authentic on this walk of building who you are. You don't have to go into people's houses. And another thing too, I had another client too. It was actually a family member. And the way how I see the clutter may be different how somebody else see their clutter. And that actually was a word for me, because just because in my eyes, in my vision, or whatever I see in somebody's life may look crazy, or it may be a lot, or it may be not what I prefer, does not always mean that it may look like that in somebody else's lens and how they see life. I don't know if that was coming out clear in my head, but just able to really acknowledge, like, okay, the way how people view things may be different based on where their heart posture is. And as a person that values the heart, that values the posture of where a person's heart is, I can't be judgmental, because I don't want people judging me. The reason why I want to bring that up, because especially when you want to create this emotional space of well-being and a place of just honesty, in an open space of protection, you have to give yourself, give yourself, you have to give yourself that same interaction, that same energy, that same grace. You can't be in a position to give everything to everybody if you're not returning that same grace and that same respect and love within yourself. And that's something that I'm just learning each and every day, within my relationships, within my friendships, within coworkers, within environments I put myself in. And I'll be honest, I sometimes do slip up. I do slip up into maybe a place of not wholesome, or it may be messy or something like that. And I may do that unintentionally. But it's up to me to be very intentional of the space and the experiences that I want to create each and every day. Something else that's on my mind is that I have to learn to stop overly commit to for people, or what I'm doing, what I'm gonna do for somebody. I lost friendships and I messed up a lot of connections doing that. Like, when you say you're gonna do something and you overly commit just to say you doing something, and then everything falls out of place and then everything's in shambles, don't do that. Check with God first. Check on your well-being first before you take action, or before you say yes or I do to something. Because if you don't, it's gonna backlash. And then once you get this certain pressure, to that leans on you, and you're not able to maintain it, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna crash out. You're gonna be in a position where you're overwhelmed, and that's gonna show in your work. That's gonna show in your work ethic. That's gonna show in your relationships. That's gonna show in your body, your skin, the way how you look, and just having that self-awareness of just like, okay, this is enough. This is my bare. This is, I'm gonna say my bare minimum, but this is my limit. This is how much I can take in, and that's okay. That's okay to keep a boundary within yourself of what your limits are, so you are able to maintain it and understand it as you go. And the reason why I share that is because I think a lot of times people feel like they have to handle and limit themselves to let me backtrack. I feel like a lot of people put themselves in situations to be doing a little bit too much, rather than respecting of what they have and what they already got, and not understanding like what you have and already got is what God bless you with. And you are able to be like, okay, these are the tools that I have, and these are some things that I can make, and I can make something beautiful out of. I'm learning that in this season is that I know where direction is. I know where my heart is at, but I know I'm still wounded in certain areas, and that wound is going to show in different ways in my life. And it's up to me to actually face those negative areas in my life, to really stick with it, like, like a big girl, be an adult about the situation. Because in order for you to grow, and in order for you to understand life, you have to be in a position to look at things that you're lacking in emotionally, mentally, and physically, so you can really just be intentional about the space that you want to create for yourself, your family, your community, the world as a whole. But it all starts with you. It all starts with your intentional walk, what you put in your body, what you do, what you say. And I think this week I really want to challenge myself to stop swearing as much. I have a bad habit of doing it, and every time I do it, I do feel the conviction. I feel the I feel it. I feel like I feel the nastiness with it. And like, of course, I'm gonna still slip here and there, because like, that is part of my, like, who I am when it comes to how I grew with my family origin. But I just know where I'm heading. I desire cleanness. I desire peace. I desire a very precious space. And if I desire that, I need to move like that. And whatever I am going to input into this world, I expect what I'm gonna get back is what I put in. So yes, what I leave with you today in this video is that don't be afraid to get out of your comfort, to challenge yourself in this one life that you get. Don't be afraid to get out of that comfort zone. And then don't make yourself feel like you have to do what everybody else is doing. If you know what your limits are, what your type of fun is, what you want to put in your body, what you want to say with your friends, what you want to say to your family, things you want to keep inside, things that you want to let out, just respect your journey and be very intentional of the walk, and just appreciate each step that you're taking each every day. So yeah, that is it. That's all I have today, and I pray that you have a good day. Bye.